Okay, let's talk about Kiss Me Kate. So, Kiss Me Kate was a return to form for another Broadway legend that the people at the time had kind of thought had fallen by the wayside with the dawning of the Rodgers and Hammerstein era, and that was Cole Porter. However, unlike Irving Berlin with Annie Get Your Gun, Cole Porter really didn't need to be convinced to come back and write this show. First of all, he'd had a little bit more experience with shows like this than Irving Berlin had had. Anything Goes was kind of a beginning of a book musical. It was still very song heavy and hit heavy, but the songs were still kind of driven by the characters. So he had experience. The other thing was, and they always say revenge is a great motivator. Cole Porter really wanted to show up Rodgers and Hammerstein. He really, really wanted to show them that he was still the best and that his show could outsell their show. There's a famous line where Cole Porter and a friend of his are listening to the radio and a Rodgers and Hammerstein song comes on, and the friend says, "Oh, who wrote that song?" And Cole Porter says, "Rodgers and Hammerstein. If you can believe that it takes two men to write one song." Very snippy. I don't know if he knew them personally or if there was some rivalry, but you know how people are in anything. There's a friendly rivalry going on, and he wanted to show them up. And for a little while he did, and the show that he did was Kiss Me Kate. Now, Kiss Me Kate is a musical version of Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. And that's not even quite true. What's going on in the show is there is a married couple, or a couple who is recently divorced, and they are putting on a musical production of Taming of the Shrew, playing the lead. So you have a show within a show kind of deal. It's a very funny, very kind of twisty-turny little plot. The songs in it were all quintessentially Cole Porter, elegant rhyme schemes, very sophisticated and quite dirty. Songs like "It's Too Dang Hot" or "It's Too Damn Hot," depending on which version you're listening to. So Cole Porter would get his wish a bit with this musical. Opened December 30th, 1948, ran for 1,077 performances in its original run, and it was definitely the most successful show of his career. And even though Rodgers and Hammerstein would come back at the end of the decade and with another couple of hits and kind of push this one a little bit to the side, Cole Porter did have one thing over on them. Kiss Me Kate is the very first show ever to win the Tony Award for Best Musical. So, just like the movies have the Oscars and TV have the Emmys, for those who don't know, the Tony Awards are the awards ceremony for musicals, and Kiss Me Kate was the first one to win that award. Now, to close out, like I said, the songs in this show, all very quintessential Cole Porter, but for me, the best song in the show, and I think the one that I would play people to kind of illustrate what a Cole Porter song is the song "Brush Up Your Shakespeare," which is two gamblers, two Goombas, out in front of the curtain singing to the audience and singing off all of the different Shakespeare shows and how you can use them to get your girl. It is everything a Cole Porter song should be. The rhyming schemes are incredibly clever. It calls on a sophistication of knowing all the Shakespeare shows, and it is rather naughty. And if you're curious, there is a link to a performance of it right at the bottom of this.